Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have a great rack, no duplicates, and I've got the blank. Do I have a bingo? Through an N or an S, I would have enhydros. But I suspect there could be many bingos here. Are there any sevens? My opponent may change. No N or S. Let me briefly consider the floaters. Sometimes 8s are easier to see than 7s. So I've got the L for the LY ending. That's not suggesting anything. How about the A? That looks useful. Not seeing anything. The C goes well with the H. Again, not seeing anything yet. How about the K? That looks less likely. So let me consider 7s and just run through the alphabet, and hopefully something will come to mind. I have hydro. Let me just put this back. I have hydro as a prefix with E. No, that doesn't suggest anything. So I think I was up to this point. I feel confident that there is something here, but that falls somewhat short of actually identifying the play. I think hawkeyed through an E. There is no E. I have hydromel, I think is good, onto the L. I'd like to find something better. That sticks the H in the middle of column 1. I have hoorayed, which is better, through the A. Just noticing I have hook. Okay, well, it's great to have some bingos. But a 7-letter play would be nicer, probably score more. I have hyper as a prefix with OD. "17 minutes on my clock." So what about the blank as an S? That would be the enhydros play. Not seeing anything there. Out hired with a T. Okay, so that's all I've seen. So I'll go with hooray. At least the H gets doubled. 468. Pretty good. I could be on track for another bingo here. It'll be a low probability one with just a couple of A's. And I'm wondering if there's a 7. I don't think Cathars is good, but this looks like a rack I may have had in my card box and guessed Cathars, only to then find it's something else. But that something else is not coming to mind, so let me consider the floaters, and there are a few. So how about the H? Nothing there. How about the O? No, not seeing anything. Wow! Fantastic bingo for opponent. 87 points. And using the J. So I now trail by about 40 after my great start. So I'm considering floaters, which have now been obstructed, and very few new ones provided. And I was up to the D. So I've got hard and card as component parts of a word. Not seeing anything there. I'm going to check Cathars because it would play if it's good. but I think it's capitalized. So am I confusing that with something else? Let me consider each letter in turn as the initial letter of a bingo. So I would have autarks through a U, but I'm looking for sevens beginning with A. Not seeing anything. How about the C? What about charters? That's the play. That is the play. Yes. Right. Okay. And that plays because of alack and slack. So I am back in the game. Do I have anything better than charters? I don't think so. And I think this is the best place to play it because I will be ahead after this play. And this provides fewer options for opponent. Charters for 81. Wow, I have denarii, and that plays in row K underneath the E of jade-like. I don't think it plays anywhere else. So are there any other lanes for 8s? Slack takes nothing in front of it. So there's columns 10 and 11 onto E and D. Both duplicate tiles on my rack. The E looks unpromising. How about the D? Not seeing anything. Charters takes nothing in front. Opponent may be drawn to row K, scoring off the J, which would be great because it would leave denarii alone. Denarii is quite a volatile play because it is going to open up column 15 for a triple-triple. Row G is available as a bingo lane with the L as a floater. Fantastic. Denarii remains available, but is there a less volatile bingo? Toff doesn't create any opportunities for denarii, but I do have 2 floaters to consider. So this rack plus a T. Daintier. Does daintier have an anagram? I don't think it does. How about the O? That doesn't look promising. So, denarii it is. 469. Wow, and another pretty good pickup. I'm not immediately seeing a bingo, but there could be one here. I don't think unbegat is good, but I'm sure there are 8s here. There's something jumping in my mind here. What is it? Something is really nagging my mind that there is a bingo. And I'm talking about an 8, not a 7. Well, let me consider the floaters, in particular the I. I would have the ing ending. I've got quite a lot of candidate prefixes and suffixes on my rack. I've got age as a suffix. I've got un as a prefix. I've got ng for ing. I've got ab. So close to abnegate, but the U isn't helpful. I've got gun as a component part. Out, began, that's not good. But does it have an anagram? Not seeing it. The T doesn't look useful. How about the R? Burgonet. That is what I was thinking of, and that doesn't go. That is definitely what I was thinking of. Burgonet. So, I don't have that. But this is a balanced rack, so I am going to have options. And I guess I'd be looking to take out the danger of column 15. There is still... Well, there are no blanks to come. I was going to say there were some. So column 15, not as dangerous, but it's a dangerous spot even... Well, opponent takes it, but even without the triple threat, it's a scoring place for opponent. Now, opponent's taken that out. Has he provided any new floaters? Well, yes. E and T and L. Do any of those assist? How about the T? Doesn't look promising. What about the E? No, not seeing anything there. And the L doesn't look useful, so I've given up on finding a bingo. Do I have a play in row K, a 5-letter play? And such a play wouldn't be ideal because it would leave the U on my rack, which I'd quite like to play. However, let me just see what there is there from a scoring perspective. And I'm not seeing anything. Okay, well, that's the end of that. I could play Gub in column 2, which is quite nice. It's 18 points, which isn't particularly nice, but I don't have a huge number of scoring tiles on my rack. It is providing quite a useful spot in column 1. 12 minutes on my clock, 46 tiles left, so that just doesn't feel like it's scoring enough. So where else can I play? The rack leaves quite good, but it's not great, ANTE, especially with a lot of A's, E's and N's to come. Just looking to see if I can play between Hooraid and Jade-like. What about a play through the R? I could play Bogue or Booge. Wow, this. I feel I'm making a meal of this. There must be options. So I could play Nub, 22 points. That's not bad. It's taking out a hotspot for the X. It is providing a spot for words ending S, which didn't otherwise exist, so I might regret it. And I'm not leaving the best possible rack leave. However, only one G to come, and if I draw an N, that will improve this rack. I am going with this. Wow, I draw A's and E's. This is grim. I do lead, but it's just a bingo's lead, and there are a lot of bingo lanes on this board. So, how to sort this rack out? Well, a play of a gate would do that. That doesn't quite play in row K. Do I have anything in that row? I don't think so. A gate does play, making ENE, but the score's low and I'm setting up a big X spot. Okay, 34 points for opponent, big score. Owie takes a T in front. Do I have a 5-letter T play? And I don't think I do, which is irksome. What I do have is TAE. That may be worth doing. It's 29 points, which is more than I was expecting from this rack. The rack leave, it's bad in that it's vowel heavy, but there are only a couple of A's and 4 E's to come. And I do have a consonant. So can I score anything like 29 points elsewhere? I don't think so. I'm going with this, am I? Joe also takes an E in front. So I could play... Well, this is an even worse rack leave. But it's 8 more points. That's actually quite a big score, 37 points. And I'm going with this. Wow, that could have been so much worse. I draw 4 consonants, which is really lucky. I actually have a bingo. I have Rafales. Have I blocked it? No, I haven't because of ENE and NUS, so I could be bingoing again, which is wholly undeserved given my rack leave from the previous play. So, any other bingos with this rack? Possibly not. It doesn't actually feel a particularly bingo-y rack. It does have a 7 on it. But no other candidate plays are coming to mind. Have I overlooked a spot to play? Rafales. Just looking to see if it plays underneath Geet, and it doesn't. How about a play onto the D? Wow! Great bingo for opponents, 64 points. He's now trails by 20, and he set up a hot lane, a very hot lane in row A. So I have Rafales in row M. Opponents created no new spot for that bingo, but there are a number of floaters to consider. I do have the ABLE ending, but I'm not seeing a bingo with the B. B and F don't go great together. How about the A? The A, nothing. R, no. I, no. So I think I will play Rafales. I don't want to get into time trouble. I'm not sure there's any real options to agonise over. 71 points. And that's not bad. That's not bad. There's not a 7 here, I don't think, but I'm sure there will be some 8s. I've got the out prefix in row C. Wow, okay. So row A still available. Most of the other floaters have been taken out. The T remains available, but out rises. I take that back. The T has been taken out. Only 6 squares available before Vrow, so let me ignore that. The main floater is the B. Do I have a bingo with this rack plus a B? I'm not optimistic that there is one. I have Sirius on my rack as a 7, and Vrow's is good. Okay, well that's handy. So what would be better than that would be a bingo through the B. So I've got the sub prefix. It's always tempting to slap down a bingo when you've seen it. But a triple would be vastly superior. This is so close to a bingo through the B. The B looks like it goes quite well with this rack. Just thinking about Huri Bozes, but I don't think that's good. I'm going with Sirius for 71. And having played that, I have, of course, left open the B for a triple, but look at the remaining tiles. They do not look bingo-y. My rack, however, through an H, I would have mythized. All the H's have gone. Such bad luck. And I'm not seeing any other bingos, but it's a fantastic rack. It's balanced. no duplicates, and I've got the Z. Plus, I've got a 100-point lead. And look at this, the A of Rafales underneath this Z spot. So, do I have a 4-letter Z play? Well, not beginning with the Z, but I do have Maisie in that spot. I have Zimb in row A, close to Bizant. Not seeing any way of getting the Z doubled and the word tripled in row A. Just checking where the H's are. They are definitely out of action. So am I sure there are no ZA plays? Just looking at each letter in turn as the third letter of such a play. And I don't have one. Still 10 tiles in the bag. But I feel I'm close to victory here because I'm guaranteed a pretty good Z play and remaining tiles very unbingo-y. However, Rafales has provided a hot X spot. So the game is not over yet. "11 minutes on opponent's clock, 7 on mine. So what's the best I can do in row A? Is it Zimb? Wow. I wasn't looking at that part of the board for opponent. So this is what I have here. Maisie for 63, and I think that is going to do the job. Unless there's a triple through the B. But I'm not seeing one. So Maisie for 63. And that's quite... I have debuting as a triple. Will that remain available? Wow. I hope opponent does have the X. Gosh, 4 tiles in the bag. Debuting. Come on. Must stay available. Look at this X spot. Come on. Q also out there. Where could opponent play the Q with the U of Rouse? That would be bad news for my triple. So, do I have any bingos elsewhere? If debuting is blocked. What about the Y? Ah, such a shame. Okay, so no triple for me. The T not available as a floater. I think the Y is the only bingo floater on the board. And I'm not seeing a bingo through that. So, 5 minutes on my clock. Opponent's got the Q, he's got the X. He's got an I for going with the Q, so let me first see if opponent can play his Q. Well, he can play QI and it, and QI and TI. Does he have a second spot for the Q? He has cheese onto the S of Sirius, so he's not stuck with the Q. He doesn't have a massive X play because he can only get it to triple once. He doesn't have an E for going underneath the R. Does opponent have any other big X spots I need to concern myself with? I don't think so. Ah, now the O is a floater for a bingo, and I can't see one, so I think I'd need to abandon that search. So I'm looking now to go out in 2. And to do so with the best combined score. So where's opponent's best Q spot? Column 2. And maybe I can set up something which only I have access to. 4 minutes on my clock. I'm not particularly good at that, so that may not happen. So looking at the scores, I'm 100 points ahead, so this game is won, which is good. Just wondering if I've got to play using the Z. That would require an E underneath the F. Well, no, I don't have anything there. What about a play to the right? No, I can't. I don't have anything with the Z. Just again checking this Y for a bingo. So disappointing about that bovine play. Very, very tragic, really. So I have death for 28, which is a good score, but am I going to go out with GUIN? Probably not. Can I extend death? I don't think so. 2 minutes on my clock, which isn't very much. Nothing goes after nub that I've got. I could play Dungy, and I'm sure tie would go in more than one spot. I suspect that's not best. So what about DWEEB here? And I'm thinking about this because I don't think the G is going to be useful for opponent, and it stops him playing QI. And I have surely can go out with TEN. I have Tyne through the Y. I have Gent in column 1. So I'm not setting up anything with the X, I don't think. Axing doesn't play. No, so I'm going with this. So where's the best play for Ent? 15 for Gent. Nothing goes in front of TI. I've got 10, An and Re for 11. Tyne scores less. Nothing alongside Sirius. Nothing in column 9, which enables me to go out. So I think it's Gent, and I don't think opponent can block that. So he's in quite a difficult position with the Q and the X. He can't play both. He can't get much at all for the Q, and he can't get very much for the X, so it's all a bit dismal for him. And he has 8 minutes on his clock. Wow, I'm through the 500 mark. Fantastic. Still looking around for a better spot or a better score than Gent. Toff takes an E, but Ent isn't good. It's Ents. Can't see anything parallel to Gwyd. Nothing I have goes to the left of if. Teen is good, but that's only 8 points. Joe takes an S in front, but nothing else. Cent doesn't fit. Wow, just looking at charters, that was the play which really took me a long time to find. And it was early doors, and I think it had quite a significant impact on the rest of the game. Seven minutes on opponent's clock. I'm still looking around for spots to play ENT. There are generally a lot of places on the board for 3 tiles, so easy to overlook one. I have ENTS and DE for only 8 points. Nub only takes an S after it. I can't see anything through Awa. And opponent's taking a while, and it's not surprising because he's only got... well, he's only got bad plays to consider. If he had an E, it would be fairly easy, I think, to slap down something EX. But although this board is wide open, there aren't a lot of scoring spots for his Q or X. I note that he's got the N and the A, so is there anywhere for chin or cat? Well, there's cat in the bottom row. How about anywhere for chin? Well, not that I can see. Okay, 31 points for opponent. That looks pretty good in the circumstances. And I have gent, just pausing in case opponent's provided anything, and he hasn't. So gent for 15. And the final score, 405 for my opponent, 547 for me, a winning margin of 142 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first, and he played lack, and I have this rack. So, what was available? Herd Boy as a 7, F4. And Herd Boy in black. Hooray, which I played, and then Hydrogel and Hydromel, so not a ton of bingos. But Herd Boy, 10 points better. Well, 15 points better than Hooray, so there definitely was a better bingo, but I was grateful to find one. Opponent's rack, and this was a fantastic spot. Jade-like for 87. I don't know if I would have found that. And then I have this rack, my second rack of the game, and Charters is the only bingo, which plays in a variety of spots, and this is the highest scoring. Opponent's rack plays Toff, and I have Denarii. Wow, that's a pretty good rack. Pilotage through an A, but nothing through the I. And no bingo at all, but Piglet playable. Okay, and that first word makes me wonder whether Burganet is good. Maybe it is just Burgonet. Wow, look at that. Burgonet is through R, O, and E as a double-double, so very difficult to see, but no bingo there. And I play Nub, and I really didn't like this play. It didn't feel optimal. Certainly not as good as Burgonet. Bungee, N10. Well, that opens up row O. So actually there aren't any obviously much better plays apart from the first one. Opponent's rack plays Owie. Had G. Oh wow, yeah, that would have been better than G. Jeet keeps 3 vowels, Agi just 2. And that's a big difference, only 1 point difference in score. But I would say double AT is quite a few points better than double AE. Maybe 5 points better. Very difficult to judge. But I would have played Agi if I'd seen it. Now, opponent's rack. And he has a choice of bingos. And this slightly took me by surprise. And I think it's partly the impact on the score from starting off with 3 back-to-back bingos After baritone, I lead by only 20 points. However, I have this rack and I have Rafales, which I was delighted to spot and was the only bingo. Look at this horror show, absolutely awful. And opponent plays Vrow, which is great for me because I have Serious, and I nearly missed that, but I didn't. Opponent's rack, who now has gone from being 20 behind to being over 120 behind. Plays Fem. Wow, there is a Z play, Zati. Okay, that's slightly remiss because it's remiss that I didn't spot it, but Maisie, only 6 fewer points, has a much better rack lead, so I think if I'd seen both of those plays, I would still have played Maisie. And it's not all about bingos. DEIT is just generally more flexible. However, the flip side of that is M and Y are good scoring tiles, so actually those two moves on this board at this time are probably fairly similar. Not a great rack for opponent, and this is where he played Bovine, and that looks fine from his perspective, but he blocks my bingo. And look at this, nothing fabulous on offer here, but this is the end of the game, and I play Gewid for 24 with a guaranteed out with ENT, tinged N1. Oh, actually that's quite nice. Yeah, quite a lot of those plays in row N look quite nice, getting over 30 points. But I don't think Gewid's going to be far behind because the gent spot is very unlikely to be taken by opponent. So I play Gewid, and then opponent has Axe in column 11. And the best I can do is not gent, that's second best. The best is D12. Teen, Art and Wee. Wow, having spent all that time looking for ENT spots, I overlooked row D. So, that was the end of the game. And it was an absolutely rip-roaring game. I got off to 3 back-to-back bingos, but opponent got off to a flying start as well, and was within 20 points of me after my third bingo. But then I got 2 back-to-back bingos later on in the game with Serious and Rafales, and that pretty much secured the win for me. But it wasn't done and dusted because the Q and X were still out there. However, I did run out a big winner at the end as a result of how the tiles fell. So many thanks to my opponent for a great battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.